has a lot of pop in his bat. He's 0 for 2 today, but he has scored the only run.
Yeah, hustled out to beat out a double play attempt in the first inning.
And then came around to score. And he shows bunt, and he does bunt, and it goes to third. The play is to first. And he's out at first. John Silk, the first base coach, thought that perhaps C.J. Stecker had pulled his foot off the bag. But the sacrifice bunt goes through.
And he was certainly on the bag there. Bang, bang play. And look at the Montgomery College players come out. They're really committed to that. When runners are on base, you got to move them over. So only one out here, guys on second and third. So Ross Sweeney recognized for his effort in just getting a sacrifice bunt down.
And let me tell you, that's something because Ross Sweeney leads the team in total bases, tied for the team lead in home runs. So he's a power hitter. But he had absolutely no problem doing what, as he's coached, laid down a nice bunt, moved both runners up, and there's a base hit which will bring both runners in. That is textbook baseball right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Shane Ittenbach going downstairs to hit that pitch, just shoot it out into left field. We'll see it right here. Just a little golf swing, chopped it right out there to left field, and two guys in, and we got a 3-1 ball game.
That shows you that value, again, of that sacrifice by Sweeney. That sacrifice is not going to be a big factor in the box score, but in the game itself, it's a huge factor.
Yeah, and it just in the little way, it changed the position of where Laser was at third base. So maybe he's a little closer to the ball if there's runners on first and second, because he has to be ready to cover the bag for a force out at third. This time, with no force out at third, he was back to normal positioning, wasn't anywhere near that ball.
That's also Shane Ittenbach's second hit of the game. He had a double in the first. He's got 2 RBIs now, and of course, more importantly for Germantown, they're in front 3-1.
You know, in the effort of Sweeney and then Ittenbach, a reflection of Coach Dan Rasher. We've talked a lot about Tom Schaefer's approach, and really excellent and successful approach in his own right. Dan Rasher, you know, usually when you hear people say about a coach, he just wants to win ball games, you think about a fiery guy who's going to get every inch out of his team. This is a guy who gets every ounce of effort out of his team, but really in that very strategical, take a player aside, talk the game with him kind of way. Really spends individual time with all of his players, which is a credit to him and his whole coaching staff, and also the majority of the players to be able to buy in to having these individual talks and being able to take that on the field and execute.
All right, here's Bachman now. He has an RBI in the game. He had a sacrifice fly in the first inning. Just 1 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ittenbach back on first. And Mike Bachman, one of the hottest hitters on the team, at the plate. Still no action in the Rockville bullpen. And Bachman grounds it to third, and it's foul.
Took a second for the umps to suss that out, but that looked like the correct call.
And Ittenbach goes back to first. Bachman back to the plate. 2-2 the count. Top of the 5th inning. Beautiful day here in Rockville, Maryland. Germantown out front 3-1. Carly out of the stretch, and Bachman hits it high right out into short left. And Morley calls him off and calls Arrett off and makes the play. That was his play. Good call.
Yeah, and a lesson learned from Rockville. Keller and Stecker had a problem communicating earlier in the game. Ball dropped in between them, and this time, that's the fundamentals of the game. Both guys go for the ball until someone calls it.
And the correct call was made. Morley had a much easier play than Arrett. And that brings up Kessiker. Kessiker has been on by an error in the first, and he singled to left his last time up. Also has a stolen base in the game. Top of the 5th inning. Takes it low. Got a very good eye. He's an automotive major here at Montgomery College.
I could use a guy like that. When my car breaks down, I have no idea. So I intend to make buddies with Castigar over our broadcasts.
And he pops it up to first base. James Morris camps under it and makes the grab for the third out of the inning. So after 4.5 innings of play, Germantown pulls in front with a 2-run rally here in the top of the 5th inning. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th. And leading off is going to be Morris, who just made the final out after this.